Welcome back to the Backend of Business podcast with me, Carly Murphy, and we are on a new episode. And today I wanted to chat about branding, something I've been doing a lot of this week, and I was like, yeah, let's do that. So before you think this isn't for me because I've already got a logo, then just stick with me. So branding is one of those things that most business owners think that they have got ticked off the list. They've got a logo and it feels good, it looks nice, and they're happy with it. But having branding as a whole is a massive, huge thing that can make a massive difference to your business. And it's not just to your business of how you see it, but it's how other people see it as well. So the best bit, branding is not just having a fancy logo or spending thousands of pounds on the fanciest branding out there. It is about making people feel different and remembering you. So let's get into that. So I always say people make their mind up about your business before they've even read anything about who you are and what you do. They look at your business, and it's awful to say, and it is very much a don't judge a book by its cover situation, but people do with businesses. They'll look at the branding and they go, oh, that's a bit of me. Oh no, that's not a bit of me. And I always say to clients, you can be shit hot, and I've said this in a podcast already, you can be shit hot at what you do, but the shop window doesn't make you look shit hot. And it's not because you're not good at what you do, it's just that your branding is a little bit all over the place. So it might not look totally professional. It sounds awful, but people think they look more trustworthy when they've got a better brand, and that is not always the truth. Like, people can have a shit up branding and not be shit at what they do. So your branding is giving people that first impression before they've even spoke to you. So again, like I said, shop window. Imagine you're walking around shops, you're more likely to go into the ones that have got the prettier displays in the shop window, or the ones that you're going to buy some clothes and you want a certain dress. That certain dress is in the window, or that display looks a certain way, or the colours, like it's crazy. And we know we do it. We walk in certain places because how the shop window looks. So there's one thing I hear all the time is, I've already got branding. And then when I say, what branding have you got? Can you send a rebranding for your website that we're building? They will send me a logo over. And the logo is brilliant. Like, it's the first steps, but branding is so much bigger than that. It's your colours, it's your fonts, it's the photos that you use, it's the way that you write your captions, the way that you write your copy on your website, or how your website feels. It's the emails that you send. Even in the way that you reply to inquiries, all of these things together create your branding. It's how people feel when they interact with your business. So it's one of the biggest benefits of having a good branding is trust. People buy from people and businesses that they trust. If everything looks consistent, your website matches your Instagram, your colors are the same, graphics all look like they belong together, your emails sound like the same person who wrote the social media post, people feel confident. It tells them that you've got your shit together. You care about the details, and you care about the details in your own business. So they naturally assume that you care about them too. But one thing I notice straight away is when I'm looking into businesses that people have bits of branding all over the place, but they're not really consistent. So today we're going to talk about the bit of branding that I deal with the most, which is the visual branding. So there's people out there that find a lovely Canva template, and they found this, and I've got nothing against Canva. Canva is my life. Canva is my life. I use this to create clients' branding. I am not a brand designer. I can't even think of the word, graphic designer. I am an expert at the branding, the perfectionist, pulling it together on Canva, knowing what looks good and what's a little bit off. Like, I've just decorated my office / OMED area, and Carl was putting something on the wall, and I was like, no, it was these photos. I was like, no, there's too much space at that side, it's got to be there. And like, I have got the eye to know that, no, that one needs tweaking a little bit, the photo needs to move a little bit up, a little bit down, what colours look nice with what. And from that side of stuff is definitely through what I do in business. Like, I am a perfectionist when it comes to graphics and branding and things like that. So some people, they've got this lovely Canva template and it looks nice, but then you go to the website and it looks totally different. And then you go to the Instagram and they're using different fonts to what they did on that one before, and the Facebook uses another. The reels have got a different style for captions. The stories are all one colour and the PDFs are another. Their email header doesn't match the branding as a whole. It ends up look totally different, and it makes you look like you're totally different businesses. The first thing I say to my clients is, you want someone to be able to see one of your posts and say, oh, that's Carly, that's Carly, that's a Carly post, that's a Carly style, that them colours are Carly's. And I've got a lot of green in my life right now. My phone case is green. My mat in front of my laptop's green. The drawer in front of on my desk is green. Like, the green to me is a new lifestyle. This is like the least green room in my house, and that's not by choice, is that I did want it green. But there's lots of other colours in here, and blacks and greys, and I had to go with that. But there are hints of green there. But the green is my brand, and I live by it. The cat's coming up. I live by it and love it, and it's just very me. So your brand should feel same wherever someone finds you, whether they come across your Instagram, watch one of your reels, land on your website, download a freebie, read one of your emails, or listen to your podcast. So if you notice, I talk about what we call brand awareness. So this is keeping that same awareness across your business. So it doesn't mean that every freebie and every service has to be the exact same. It's just got to have something across it. So my podcast branding is in my green. It's got my colours, but I also brought into it white into the text and add a different font to the existing fonts that I've got. And it means that anytime I share about this podcast, I use that group, and that is my brand awareness for that. Then you've got my Untangle Your Tech, which is coming out, which is a reverse of my brand. So I used the gold instead of the green, and then there's still the green in there, but the main text is in the gold, but using the same fonts. So it's kind of like mixing things up, changing it around, but still using the same brand as a whole. So, like I said, it should feel like it comes from the same person. Like I said, it doesn't mean every post needs to look identical. It just means everything needs to feel connected. Using the same fonts, using the same colours, the same style of graphics. It could be when you're using captions. I started using Veed for captions, and I've upgraded to have this certain, you can pay for it. You can add this font that I like. One of my clients was using it, was like, I love that. Where's that from? She's like, it's from Veed. And I just wanted something, because I'd go in CapCut and get a caption and then forget to save it. And then I couldn't remember what fonts I'd used. And I really like this. It emphasizes stuff. It does a little bit of zoom in, zoom out. And I love it. And I only paid to get the watermark off the top corner. But you can find something where you can go in and always just use that caption, always just use that style or that same colour. So you've got headings on your website. You're going to use that same across your website and use that same font on your graphic headings. If your buttons are rounded on your website, think about using rounded elements in your social graphics as well. Just little details people don't consciously notice, but they feel it. Like, and I think branding is a feeling, but it's what builds that recognition. What creates that uniform across. The more consistent you are, the more people start to recognize your content before they even see your name. Like, I started seeing things and I'm like, oh my God, I'm gonna send that to so-and-so, and I realize it's them, because as soon as I seen it, it reminded me of them, that person. Because when people recognize you, they remember you. They remember you, they're far more likely to buy from you or recommend you somewhere else. So can we talk about colours for a minute? So something I see all the time is people say their brand's green. So they use green in their branding, especially when they come to me and they're like, I use green. Even if they say I use sage green, there's still different shades of sage green. So they go to do their captions and they go to green and they click on green. Every single green is different. So you've got something in a dark green, something's a sage green, something's in a lime, and something's almost blue. One's olive. They're all nice, but they are not your brand. And when you're choosing it, really stick to this. So don't just search green when you create a graphic, use the exact same one every single time. And the easiest way to do this is by using the hex code. So if you've never heard a hex code spelled H-E-X before, don't worry. It's just a code that tells whatever you're using the exact color that they need to use. So if you use Canva, creating a website, you're updating on, you're doing something in CapCut, if you use any sort of different app to create whatever you're doing, you can use this code. If you're having business cards made or a banner or something of someone, the designer will be able to pull out the colours. Don't worry too much if you don't know them. But if you're creating these things yourself, you want to know exactly what code you are using and what your brand colours are. And it's not like you've got to memorize the code and go, oh my God, my green is 11. It's like an hashtag 11492. You don't have to do it like that. You can save it in places. You can go back into Canva or wherever you use and find it. But instead of trying to match it by eye every time, you can copy and paste that code and know you're using the exact same shade. If you've already got a colour you love, but you don't know the X code, really easy to find. If you use Canva, click on the colour in Canva and it'll bring up the little hashtag for there. Save it somewhere, or if you're not sure, you can put that graphic into Canva. Create a circle, get an element, create a circle, click on it, and then use little colour dropper and hover it over your colour, and then it'll bring up the X code. Pop it in Google, pop it in ChatGPT, like pop it in there to get the colour. And if you are looking to find a colour and you're like, oh my God, I'd like a gold or a sage green or something like that, you could put in X code for sage green into Google, ChatGPT, whatever you use, and it'll bring up with some hex codes and you can try them. So if you see a colour on your logo on your website, you're not sure what it is, screenshot it, ask ChatGPT, what colour is this X code? It takes a few minutes. Go same for your fonts. Don't just use one font because on look nice on a Monday, but Friday you feel like this font. Pick your heading font, pick your body font and use them everywhere. Like I said, you can bring in other fonts. You might be doing an offer and want something to look slightly different to catch people's eye. You can do that. But whatever you do, you use them everywhere on your website, on your socials, on your graphics, your PDFs, your workbook, your presentation slides, even the caption on your reels. Obviously, if you're using Canva to create reels and things like that, you can use your exact font. Sometimes it's not always available, but if you can't, stick to that font from like CapCut. So I stick to a certain font from CapCut that I like, that I use across everything. If I'm doing stories, I stick to a certain font from Instagram or Facebook. Whatever you're using, just try and stick to that same thing. These are the little details that make people recognize your business. Most people won't consciously think, oh, that's not the same font, but the brain notices something. And over time, that's what makes your business look established, professional, and memorable. So if you've got Canva Pro, make life easy for you. One of my favorite things to do in Canva Pro is using your brand kit. So you can do this by when you first go in down the side menu, you'll see brand kit, and you can add in your fonts, your logos, different elements and things that you use very often. You can add much more than I even use, but your X codes, your font, I'm sure you can add different like blocks of text and things like that you use regular. But honestly, if you're in Canva Pro and you're not using it, please just use it, make your life easier. So this just helps out. I have brand kits for all of my clients. So I don't have to go in each time and like go and find an old graphic and pull out the fonts, pull out the colours. I can just change my brand kit to my clients and use it from there. It just makes life so much easier for you. So every time you create a design, your brand colours are there for you, your fonts are there, your logos are there, and this means every graphic starts with your branding already in place. No guessing. No accidentally using a different shade of green or mixing 5 different fonts because they look nice. It also speeds everything up. And something I want to say on the side of Canva is if you find a template on Canva that you love, And again, love templates. Don't just use it as it is. Go and change it, put your own fonts into it, because there will be someone out there using that same one exactly how it is, especially if you're in the beauty industry. There's loads of nice ones. There might be like a lash one, and it's got lashes in this font, and it looks nice, and it's modern, and it's eye-catching. Just change it up a bit. Change it so exactly is your brand. You can then create content really fast once this brand kits in as well. So if you open this template up, you can go to your brand kit and you can press shuffle, and it'll just switch it all into your brand for you. You can click it again and it'll mix up how it does. If you work with a VA or a designer or anyone else in business, they can then use that brand kit for you. It just makes life easier for everyone. So everyone stays consistent no matter who is creating the branding for you. It honestly takes about 10 minutes to set up, but it'll save you hours in the long run and make your business look so much more professional. Branding also helps attract the right people. Not everyone is your ideal client, and that's okay. We don't want to work with everyone, and not everyone wants to work with us. But your branding should almost do some of that work for you. It should make your dreamy clients think, yes, this is exactly what I've been looking for. At the same time, someone who isn't the right client might just scroll past. But like we said, that's okay. Not everybody needs to love your business. You just need for right people to find you. And something I say so importantly when I'm creating branding for clients, people come into my world and they buy a brand pack, I say to them, I do not take offense to anything. What I might like, you might hate. What you might like, I might hate. But we need to keep going until you love it. You are not going to promote your brand out there and get leaflets made and business cards and post online and have a big banner with a logo or a branding that you don't love. Like, if someone comes to me and goes, yeah, that's nice, I'll be like, no, it's not. What do you like? What do you don't like? Rip it to bits if we've got to. I want them to be like, oh my fucking Lord, that is amazing. When they say that, I'm like, yes, get in. Like, you've got to love the branding. It's your shop window out there in the world of the internet, in your little corner of the internet. You've got to love everything that you put out there. So like I said, it makes you memorable. Think about businesses that you follow. Go and have a look. Sometimes you don't even need to know their name to recognize their colors and their style. Think of the big ones: Starbucks, Coca-Cola. I can't think of them all. McDonald's. They've all got that same. You could read a poster and be like, that coffee's from Starbucks, without seeing a Starbucks cup inside. Because you recognize the colors, the style, the way they write, you know exactly who is posting it. And that is what you want from your business. Like I said, people rarely buy the first time they find you. They might follow you for months. They might read your emails. They might watch your stories, listen to your podcasts. Then one day, something clicks. They need exactly what you offer. They have remembered you because your branding has been consistent. Your messaging has been consistent. Guess who they're coming to when they need a new business coach, when they need a new VA, when they want someone to create a website? They're like, Maybell, go find Carly. And I know it sounds strange, but how many people sit in Canva wondering, what should I use today? What's this font look like? Is that nice? How should I use this layout? When you got your branding sorted, you've already got that. Everything becomes quicker. If you've got a carousel brand and you're creating a carousel, you can then just make a copy and edit it, and the text there, the colours there, you just got to change up your pictures. It just makes content easy for you. Your website becomes easy to update. Your PDFs all look consistent. You're not making hundreds of tiny decisions every time you go to create something new. So let's talk about confidence, because I don't think enough of people talk about this. When your brand actually feels like you show up differently. You stop feeling embarrassed about sending people to your website. You stop apologizing for your logo. Oh, I've had this years and it needs updating. Stop thinking until it's better. Wait until it's better. Stop posting more, talking more, selling more, because you're proud of what people are seeing out there. And your confidence changes everything. So now here's something really important. Good branding doesn't always mean expensive branding. Please don't think you've got to go and spend thousands of pounds to have a successful business. there is people out there that, yeah, go and buy that brand pack. Go and, if you've got money to invest in an actual brand designer, that you're going to come out with everything that you need, and you've got a little brochure of all the different ways, and you, or you might have products and stuff, and you want all these different backgrounds. That is amazing. Like, I freaking love everything about them. And throughout the years of me doing this, I have gone a little bit more, gave a little bit more, come out with different versions of this. And I know exactly what I offer is suited to my ideal client, who normally, when they come to branding, they're either brand new in business and they need branding, or they need a revamp. They need a revamp. They've got this branding, they had it created 5 years ago, or they created it themselves using a Canva template, and they want something a little bit more fresher, updated. Or they've got a logo, but they've got no brand awareness to go with that logo. So it means that when they post on socials, they've got no different backgrounds to be able to use. They do a story and they're just using a plain background, or it's the same shit, different day. When we create a brand package, that is, they get, so you can pay for the logo on your own. So you've got your logo cost there and have it created from that, or you can bring a logo to us and say, like, I want some branding created for that. So I recently done one of these, and she just created a website. She'd just done her own website. She'd got a brand and the logo was lovely. And she's like, if I need to update my logo, please let me know. I'm like, no, you don't need to update your logo. But she wanted some templates to go with it. And that's what it's about, is having the Canva templates. So it's creating the different backgrounds or easy templates where they can go in and put some top tips in. They want to create a mood board. So an interior designer, they want to create a mood board. They can drag and drop the bits in there. They wanted to create a story which was a before and after. They can drag the pictures in. It's got the before, it's got the after, and the stuff in the background. So it's just to make their life easier in the long run. They just wanted everything across board to be able to be on brand, look and feel good. So like I said, you don't have to spend thousands of pounds unless you want to, but some of the best brands are actually really simple. A few colours, a couple of fonts, consistent graphics, photos that all have the same feel. That is enough to get started. As your business grows, your branding can grow too. I know when I first started, I have had, let's have a look. So Maybell started at like really pastel purple, pink, purple, green. That's what it started as. It was like pastel, fun pastel colours, and it started as, like I said, I've changed a few names. It was Maybell, it was Virtual Assistant, then it went to Tech Expert. So each time I rebranded, I turned it up a notch, and I wanted to go for more a luxury feel. And I was like, what is the luxury feel to me? Dark colours, nice, simple logo. So it went to the dark green with gold, Maybell Tech Expert. That's what it was first. Maybell Tech Expert, simple. And then an MB in a circle, no extra. I've had like one point it had, I was using like a snake printy, dark green snake printy leather, the leather look in the background. And then recently I updated again. And you don't have to go to, oh my God, I'm updating all my branding. Like, I didn't update it that much that it looked too different. So I changed one of my fonts. So I changed the Maybell from being a solid Maybell Tech Expert in tan pearl, and now I use a fancy Maybell and then Tech Agency in another font. And I changed it quite selfishly, but I used Carter and I didn't have the font that I used, and I wanted to be uniform across board. So I changed it to, for the main font, the body font, to be Forum, which was used on Carter. So then it was on brand when I did it, and I had to bring the headers in. So if you scroll back through my content, go and have a look, it looked completely different. Like, you can change things up. Like, it doesn't always have to be the same. Like, I changed my green from a tealy green to more of a, not like a dark forest green, but it's fine. Businesses evolve, like we all evolved. So one thing I need to touch on before I finish is AI. So don't get me wrong, I love AI. Like, I use it pretty much every day in business, in life. It's brilliant. for brainstorming ideas, getting inspiration, or helping you get started when you're staring at a blank page. And I just want to tell you is please don't let this become your whole brand. I'm starting to notice that so many businesses are using AI to create graphics and everything looks the same. The writing, the font is the same. Everything is just not super clear. So a little bit of a trick you can use if you are using AI graphics and you love that graphic that you've seen, but you think, I would love that to be on brand. Because if you put your AI graphic into ChatGPT and tell me what font this is, it is not a font, it's a made up font. They can tell you the closest to it, but what you can do is you can get and this is an amazing tip I found on Instagram the other week, is you can get your AI graphic, put it into Canva, and go to the magic edits on the side and click on magic layers. If you click on that, it will take that graphic to bits. Then you can change the fonts to be your fonts. You can change the colors, pull out backgrounds, take out lots of the little tiny love arts they put in or the lines of the love arts. What looks very AI, remove what you want to remove, keep your real picture in there, especially if you're using AI for photos. Again, it can create some amazing photos, but if it doesn't look like you, scrap it. If you're using AI for photos or ChatGPT, one simple prompt to use is keep my face, my body exactly the same. Do not change a thing. Then we don't come out with 6 fingers, five toes, 6 fingers, 6 toes, half your head missing. We don't want that. But you can use that AI for inspiration. So there's sometimes when I've been like, oh, I want a new carousel graphic, give me some inspiration. I've looked at it and gone, like that, I'm going to bring that over to Canva, recreate it myself because I don't like that box and that's not my colour exact. But look at that idea and then recreate it in Canva because everything is starting to look the same. People are starting to look past it because it's just an AI generated graphic and it looks the same as everyone else's AI generated graphic. You need to use it for inspiration, but not as a replacement for your own personality, your own brand. Take the ideas, change the wording, add your own stories, add your own colours and fonts. Make sure it's got your tone in there because people don't buy from ChatGPT, they buy from people. Your personality, your experiences, and the way that you explain things are what makes your business different. AI should help you show that more, not hide it. So absolutely use it, just don't lose yourself in the process. And that is going for graphics, it's going for captions, it's going for writing emails. Make sure anything that you use AI for, you pull it out and you tweak it and think, would I use that word? No, change it up. Would I use that sentence? No, delete that bit and rewrite it so it sounds exactly like you. The businesses that stand out over the next few years won't be the ones using AI exactly like everyone else. It'll be the ones that are using it to support their own unique brand. So there's one thing I want you to take away from this episode is branding isn't about having the fanciest logo or following the latest trends. It is just about being consistent. When someone finds you on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, they then visit your website, watch one of your reels, download a freebie, or read one of your emails, it should all feel like the same business. Those little details really do matter. And they make such a bigger difference than anyone realizes. So if you've been listening to today's podcast and you're like, my branding could do with a little refresh, then we would love to help you. We offer brand packages starting at just £150. Whether you're looking for a complete refresh, you simply want your business to feel more professional and consistent across all platforms, you can find the details over in our website, so they'll be in the show notes, but it's mabeltechexpert.com, not tech agency, but go to my Instagram, you can find it all over. So thank you so much for listening to another episode of the Backend of Business podcast. If you enjoyed this, I would love you to leave a review, pop a comment, or share it with another business owner that needs to hear this. And don't forget to hit follow so you never miss a future episode. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.